Did Vladimir Putin just inadvertently reveal the real casualty numbers for the Russian military? And is this number sufficient to grind out the Russians in Ukraine? I'm Paul, U.S. Army combat veteran. Let's talk about it. So this was buried in like the third paragraph of the Institute for the Study of War's daily update, but I thought it was really significant because Putin revealed on June 5th at a conference in St. Petersburg, somewhat inadvertently, that Russian military personnel are killed at about a rate of 5,000 a month, which if you maintain this war's 3 casualties or serious wounded for every 1 KIA, that puts about 15,000 seriously wounded Russian personnel for a total monthly loss rate of 20,000 troops every single month, which is preposterous. And what's fascinating about this is that the Russian MOD officially has only acknowledged about between 5 and 10,000 casualties, Russian soldiers KIA. So this is absolutely absurd to be like the real number is something on the magnitude of 10 times as high as the official Russian numbers up until this point. Now, Putin, I was able to find only one video of him actually spilling the beans, so to speak, and it's reposted by the Sun US, and you can see he is kind of obliquely.
Our military,
I think there's some issues with the translation.
Sanitary losses: 2, 3, 6 wounded people, and the enemy losses tens of people.
So you see, he kind of reveals there I think he's revealing a daily rate of Russian forces killed to estimates of Ukrainian forces killed. And we know he's trying to make the point to his people that while they're taking a lot of casualties, the Ukrainians are taking a lot more. I don't think that's true. The Ukrainian estimates, right, are that actually the Russian forces are taking a lot more casualties. And what's interesting, though, is that, again, if you extrapolate from this daily rate, you get the real 5,000 a month of Russian personnel killed in action. And when you look at the casualty numbers, you can see that the Ukrainian forces estimate is a bit higher than this, but in the right ballpark. But who is spot on is actually the U.S. estimate. Right? They estimate over the course of the war about 350,000 killed and wounded, which, of course, if you assume, if you look at the fact the war's gone on for, this is 24, 25 months based on this estimate number, right? 350,000 divided by 25 actually gives us a slightly lower number, but right in the correct ballpark, about 14,000 total casualties a month over the course of the conflict, right? And that's from February to March. So the U.S. estimate appears to have actually been spot on. You can see here the French estimate a bit higher, the UK's estimate just about there as well. So all of this, and actually these are probably correct because we know the U.S. estimate ending in March, whereas the French and UK estimate including March, April, and May in some cases, which May 2024, the Battle of Avdiivka proved to be one of the highest casualty rates for Russian forces. When you add in the PMC forces, Wagner, you realize that actually it pretty much confirms the U.S. intelligence estimate of total casualties in this conflict. Really interesting. Again, because let's see if I can pull it up here. Officially, Russia has only acknowledged about, I think, less than 10,000 casualties, right? In this entire operation. And some of that is Russia talking its book, so to speak, ensuring that the MOD, one, they get to downplay the official casualty rate to the Russian public. They don't have to pay benefits to soldiers who were never in Ukraine or people like Storm Z units or Wagner PMC troops who were never soldiers, right? That's the problem, right? They have to pay out benefits if you're a soldier killed in a war. If you were never a soldier, you were never killed, you're just MIA, or you were never in Ukraine, Russia doesn't have to pay you. It's a fun little game, except for the families of those who are killed. Right. But again, it's just peak Russian behavior. But here's the problem. And we're going to talk for a second about what the big problem is. But if you're looking to up your own game, right, you don't have to rely on weird conscription or coercion by the Russian government. Maybe you just want to hit the gym a little harder, or stay more focused at work, push past that afternoon wave of tiredness we all get. That's why I created Strike Gum. Strike Gum, 90 milligrams caffeine in every single piece, 100 milligrams of alpha GPC for further cognitive clarity, totally sugar free, so you don't have that sugar spike and crash. Best of all, it's made in the USA using natural caffeine, none of the weird lab-made stuff, and it's available if you want the military discounts and everything else. It's available on strikegum.com, or you can pick it up on Amazon. And again, a huge thank you to everybody that's left us those 5-star reviews on Amazon. It helps tell Amazon customers that this is the real deal, right? We're not manufactured overseas. We're not super dehydrated. We don't use sketchy lab-made ingredients, and the reviews are what tell people that. So again, it's a premium product, but we price it in a way. I mean, I'll tell you this, the 5-pack's the way to go because you get to try it, right? Your cost per piece, which again, each piece has the caffeine of an entire energy drink, stays pretty low. But the individual pack, if you just want to try it out, check it out. We actually don't make any money on the individual packs. But I'm someone who's just like, listen, I think if you try it, you're going to love it. So check it out, strikegum.com or strikegum on Amazon. Link is in the description. Okay, let's talk about the number one issue with these casualty numbers. First, you could see that Russia has a lot of military-aged men, 21 million potential military-age men fit for service, right? And so at a burn rate of 20,000 a month, right? If you have 21 million, now remember, Putin has not instituted a draft here. That's the key. But you should understand that replacing 20,000 a month, right? You're looking at 10 years of forces he can throw into Ukraine, which is, or 1,000 months. No, I'm sorry. That's 100 years. I can do math. Right? So, yeah, 87 years. So that's a lot of military age personnel. So Russia has a deep well, but you know that Putin has been unwilling to institute a general conscription. But you can imagine that if even they can recruit volunteers among 1% of the military age population a month, it still is a massive, massive number, right? In contrast, Ukraine is here with just 7 million military-age men. So Ukraine outnumbered by a rate of about 3-1 in terms of the military-age population. Now, Ukraine does have a draft, but when you're talking about going toe-to-toe with Russia, you see kind of inherently the problem. Russia can just get a lot of human beings. Now, Russia has a falling birth rate, one of the lowest in the entire world, but so there's really just one generation, and frankly, every military-age male that Putin gets killed in his sort of folly war really does long-term damage to the Russian economy and state. But Putin doesn't really care about that. However, what I think is more important, the most important number, in fact, is the estimates of what Russian forces are capable of generating. And by most estimates, Russia can put into the field about 25 to 30,000 troops a month, right? And that's the problem. Okay? It reportedly, it brought in 30,000 a month January and another 30,000 in April. So this means that the Russian military is continuing to grow and expand. Now, the catch is that a lot of these troops are extremely low quality troops, right? These are, they have limited training, they have poor gear, but quantity, as they say, has a quality all its own. And if you can bring in 30,000 new personnel each month, then you're going to be able to offset a lot of those losses. And remember, a lot of these new personnel some of them are like convicts who are offered military service to expunge a conviction, but a lot more are actually Russians who are conscripted, complete their mandatory military service, and then are strongly encouraged by the government to sign on as contract soldiers in Ukraine. They also, Russia draws in foreign fighters from places like Nepal or Bangladesh or Somalia or Africa or sub-Saharan Africa. Those forces make up a non-trivial portion of the Russian military. We're seeing more and more of them brought in. And even if they bring in just 1,000 a month, that represents, what's 3% of their total recruitment efforts. So this is Russia has the ability to generate a lot more personnel, even as they take these preposterously high casualty numbers. And it's one of the reasons why Ukraine has pivoted and focused on a attrition first strategy. You can see here the only real change to the front line has been Russian forces occupying the town of Ivanivka. But again, they controlled most of the town already. Ukrainian forces just withdrawing here, again, baiting the Russians to come out of their entrenched positions and try to advance. And again, they're incurring a lot of casualties, but are they incurring enough casualties? That's the $1 million question. Anyway, guys, that's all I had. Thank you to the Colonel tier members at combatvetnews.com. Thanks to our Lieutenant tier members. Could not do this without you guys, and I'll see you all in the next one. Cheers.